Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of OmenG's Stupid Scary Stories. Once again, I'll be reading from the book Connecticut Ghost Stories and Legends by Thomas D'Agostino and Arlene Nicholson, part of the Haunted America series. So without further ado, let us begin our tale, The Morin House. It is unusual that you are reading this story, as private residences do not usually become an aspect for publicity. This case is quite to the contrary, as Lori and Mark Morin feel that their experiences would serve to help those who may be in a similar haunted situation. Arlene and I came into the picture in 2007 when Lauren Nicholson of Quiet Corner Paranormal contacted us for assistance in a case that she had been working on. Arlene and I were more than happy to lend our time and expertise in an investigation. The home was built in 1800, and according to deeds and records, has had only 8 owners over the last 2 centuries. The Morins purchased the home in 2001 from the previous owner, who had possession of the property for a mere 4 months. We can only wonder why. Before selling out. Before that, Robert and Mildred Reynolds had lived there for about 32 years. The property was used as a cattle farm. In fact, the room where the cows were milked still remains as part of the large barn. There is a chalkboard with writing on it of the last milking that took place many years ago. Both the main dwelling and the barn are occupied by some of the previous owners. In spirit form, of course. Lori and Mark both experienced paranormal occurrences on several occasions. One evening, Lori was walking into the kitchen when she suddenly saw the upper half of a young woman with her hair in a high ponytail standing near the table. The apparition slowly vanished after a few moments. She witnessed the same young woman near the chicken coop, and just as in her previous sighting, the ghost was visible from the waist up. They both have heard noises coming from the room that is now a laundry room off the kitchen. Upon inspection, they found nothing out of the ordinary. They have heard the voices of a man and a woman while working in the barn, and one evening when Lori was in the barn looking for something, the voice of a man mimicked her not once, but twice. Mark took several photos of strange forms within the barn where voices had been heard. Their daughter was always talking about a friend who visits her named Manda. During our research, we found that a woman named Miranda lived and died in the house. They have heard voices in what was the spare bedroom, and Lori was napping one day when something pulled a blanket from the couch just outside the spare room. They have also witnessed the apparition of another woman in that room. It would be safe to say that we were very interested in an opportunity to investigate this farm. Our first investigation left us with no evidence of what they had experienced. We stayed in contact and would eventually investigate the Morin home several more times. Our second investigation proved they were truly experiencing paranormal activity. We made this second attempt to contact the spirits of the house with fellow Paranormal United Research Society investigators Rich and Allie Alari. We set up our cameras in the specified rooms and barn and let the night begin. Arlene used the tarot cards and rods to field and answer questions, while the cameras and recorders captured the moments in hopes of recording something paranormal. During our investigations, we employ the use of dowsing rods to find energy and tarot cards to field questions. These ancient devices are coupled with modern cameras, recorders, and various other equipment that help discern the normal from paranormal. As stated before, paranormal investigations are much like fishing. A good tackle box and wealth of knowledge of the place in question will always obtain better results. The night went smoothly, and we did not experience or witness any major activity. We set up a camera in the spare room and decided to hold a vigil in the barn. When we played back the video in the bedroom, it showed the lights dim and the EMF meters start to blink frantically. And then the camera went fuzzy. Something translucent was standing right in front of the camera. as the light on the meter was blurry yet visible through whatever was in front of the lens. This went on for about 35 seconds before the camera view became clear, the lights went back up, and the meter stopped. This strange event transpired about 10 minutes before we returned to the house from our vigil in the barn. We also recorded EVPs from the spare room. Arlene and Allie were playing with a cat that was once nursed in that room. During the whole time, they were letting the cat chase a red beam of light from the non-contact thermometer. The audio recorders were recording. As they laughed and joked with their new feline friend, a female voice came through telling them to stop, go, and mocking their laughter. It was obvious someone did not want them playing with what they may have considered their cat. They did not hear the angry voice at the time, but when we played the recording back, it was very clear that someone or something was in the room with them for those few minutes. During our investigation, I asked, "How many children did you lose in their infancy?" Much to our surprise, we received an answer that stated, "None. They grew." In the barn, we received a few EVPs as well. When Arlene, Rich, Allie, Lori, and I first entered the barn, we thought we heard a voice. I called out to repeat what we thought we heard, as we did not clearly understand what was said. When I replayed the recorder back, a whispery voice clearly says, "Go." We also captured an EVP that simply states "stop" and nothing else. All of these can be reviewed by going to www.nepurs.com on the investigation page. During our next visit, we were able to capture more evidence that the Morin House has a permanent guest, although it was not as intense as a previous visit to the farm. We have since become friends with the family and enjoy spending time chatting. Lori once worked as a waitress for the haunted Stagecoach Tavern in Chepachet, Rhode Island, so she is no stranger to the paranormal. A lot of activity seems to revolve around the farm animals and pets of the house. Incidentally, Mark has his own home improvement business, and Lori makes special custom plaques for gravestones that are high quality and last forever. They are extremely affordable as well. One of her most popular orders has to do with pet markers. Perhaps it is no coincidence that this little farm holds spirits that are attracted to the animal kingdom. Attracted to the animal kingdom, they say. Spirits attached to the animals, they say. I went to their website and I heard their evidence. The EVPs saying, "Stop, go, get out, leave, run from here, shall you, fast, quick, in a hurry." But this did not dissuade me from wanting to do my own investigation. Like I said, I don't always believe everything I see or hear, even if it's visual and audio evidence of supposed paranormal occurrences. So once again, as I always do, I made my way to this Morin House. Of course, they weren't too happy to see me there, considering the fact that I kind of invited myself. And like they told you in the beginning of the story, this isn't a public place. It's not like it's on some registry of haunted houses and shit like that for public people to go tour and shit. This is somebody's fucking house. So when I came knocking at their door, or ringing their ring bell as it was, they were not too pleased to see me standing there with gear and cameras and shit. But I assured them, not only am I Ghost Reese Hunter. Wait, Reese, Ghost Hunter, not Ghost Reese. I'm not a ghost. I'm an actual human being in person. Real stuff. Not dead yet. Anyway, I said Reese. Yes, that's me. I'm Reese. Ghost Hunter and Demon Destroyer Extraordinaire. I'm here to make sure the spirits within your house aren't here to do you harm. Even though you've been living here for some time now, I gotta make sure. Because, what ends up happening in some of these hauntings and shit is these rifts, portals to the beyond, tear open within your property. Then the next thing you know, you've got demons and shit spilling through the void. And this is something that you definitely don't want, and we can't let happen. They looked at me like I was bullshit. Like straight up bullshit, right? You know what I'm saying? So, I busted out Rosimul, who was in the jar doing what Rosimul does. It just so happened to be he was watching Demon TV. I don't remember if it was Netflix or Hulu. It was one or the other on his little Demon TV inside of his jar. And he looked back at them and started laughing and then turned back around to watch TV. They were shocked. They gasped. I was like, yes, I told you, I'm not no fucking fake dude. I'm the real deal. They stepped aside and let me in. I sat down at their table and motioned to the husband to get me a drink. Water. I don't drink alcohol. He came back with a tall glass of water. Sat down at the table. Him and his wife, Lori, looked at me. They said, so how did you know about this place? I said, you guys are in a book written by Thomas D'Agostino and Arlene Nicholson called Connecticut Ghost Stories and Legends. I read it. And I decided I was going to come here and check this out because, I don't know, there's a lot of animal spiritual activity that I'm thinking might be going on here. I mean, what do you mean by that? What do you mean? I mean that what could be going on, folks, is that you have some animal spirits here, as well as human spirits. Now, I need to check this out. Like I told you, if a rift opens up, the demon animals will start roaming your farm. You can't have that. Could you imagine? Like, you walk outside, the birds that you're normally feeding, little bird seed and shit on the ground, suddenly start attacking you and shit. You know, you're like, oh God, help! Ah, Blue Jay, stop it! You know what I'm saying? You don't want that to happen. Or, you know, a little cat sitting there looking at you, and you're wondering why the cat's looking at you in this strange manner in which it's never looked at you before. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just jumps on you, pounces, starts scratching the shit out of your face. Ooh, that would be painful. Or even worse, the horse, galloping as it is, galloping towards you. You're wondering, why is this horse galloping? Is it happy to see me? No, it's not happy to see you. It's there to stomp you and trample you into the ground. You don't want that to happen, do you? No. Trust me, I'm telling you, you don't want it to happen. So what do you suggest? I suggest that you let me do what I do. You know, I'm going to come in here and do the same things that other people have done in the past, except I'm looking for specific shit, more specific. And I've got different tools, and I've got a demon in a jar. So, you know, if there's any evil presences around here, he'll sense it a lot better off than we sense it. You know, we just get scared from shit we don't understand. You know, a little ghost that doesn't necessarily be evil, but just a ghost. It might scare you, like, ghost in the corner, shit, because, you know, it's a ghost and it's supposed to be dead, and then you see it, you're not going to be all that enthused about it per se, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to look for evil with evil, and find it I will, and if I do, I will destroy it. I promise you that what will happen. Mark looked at me a little funny, like he really still thought that I was bullshitting. I had to do something to prove him wrong. Well, not to prove him wrong per se, but to actually show him I am who I say I am, and I can do the things I say I do. So I opened up my jar of Rosimul. Rosimul, do your, not worst, but do something kind of bad. He hopped out the jar and took over Lori. Jumped in her, possessed her for a hot second. Made her start dancing on the table and twerking and shit, which is something that she just wouldn't do. She would never do this. I mean, she's like 70 fucking years old. Why would a 70-year-old woman be twerking on a table in front of her husband? And I mean, she was getting busy with it. Shaking, bam, bam, ass popping, bop, 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 bop. Mark damn near had a heart attack. Oh! He said, gripped his chest. Stop. Okay, I believe it. Let go of my wife. Which I did, of course. Rosimul jumped back out of her and, you know, went back in his jar. She was still standing on the table, ass out in front of her husband's face. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? I said, you don't want to know. Get down off the table and sit down. Let me tell you what's going to happen next. A few things that's going to go down in this order in which I plan on having to go down. You guys can't be here. You guys can't be here. So I suggest if you have some family to go live with for a small amount of time, maybe your kids or some shit like that, you go stay with them for a little while I do what I have to do. Because what I have to do is what I have to do if I have to do it. I may not have to, but just in case I do, you don't want to be here for this. I don't know. Do I need to demonstrate the fact that I'm not here on some bullshit? I don't want your house, and I don't want anything in your house, people. But I can't have demon portal rifts tearing open in the fabric of reality into this world. It's something I've sworn to make sure doesn't happen in places that I visit. But what do you guys have to worry about? I'm not going to get rid of your ghost friends if that's what you're thinking. And even if I did get rid of your ghost friends, you don't need ghosts around. Are they paying the rent? Are they? No. They're telling you to get out, go, stop, and shit. I read the things, listen to the EVPs. They don't seem to like you guys too much. So, I'm here to make sure that they don't, overstep their bounds. Just get the fuck out of your house. Shit. All this goddamn explaining you're making me do, I don't have time for this shit. I got work to do. Reluctantly, they left. Got them to leave. They went to go stay with one of their kids. I don't know which one. Don't really give two fucks. Okay? They were trying to tell me. I'm just like pushing them out the door. Go. So I went to this room, the chalk, where they wrote down, last time they milked the cow in the house. Reading it, immediately I feel this warm, moist air splash across the back of my neck. Like a horse breath, hot, breathing on my neck, where it was, like I told you in the first place. I started moving around, and I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? Turned around, I don't see anything behind me, obviously. There's no one else in the house, it's just me. Now the cat is there, walking around and shit. He's looking at me, kind of funny. I'm not feeling it. Rosamund is yelling in the jar. Hey, Reese! Oh shit! You better move out the way! That cat's not a regular cat! What do you mean that cat's not a regular cat? Just trust me. He's not a regular cat. He's gonna fuck you up some terrible if you don't move. Trust me when I tell you. Rosamund, you know what? I don't believe what you're saying. I think you're just trying to scare me. And as soon as I said that, this cat's eyes turned red like fire, and it leapt right at my face. Luckily, I moved just in time. As I did, it flew past, hit the wall, rolled back over on its four legs, looked at me and hissed. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem, Tabby? Getting mad at me for it, Morris. Problems that you have. I didn't do anything to you. I asked your owners to leave so I could check some shit out. Meow. I know what you did. Meow. Oh shit. A talking cat. You talk, cat?
Yeah. My name's not Tabby or fucking Morris either, you son of a bitch. It's James.
James the cat. That's what people naming their fucking pets human names.
I'm not a pet. I'm the spirit that just so happens to be inhabiting this cat at the time. I don't take too kindly to you bringing demons in our house.
Bringing demons in the house? What are you talking about?
I know what's in your bag. We can sense it. We don't like demons here.
Look, you're not gonna tell me what to do, James. Number one, you're possessing a cat. Do you know how stupid that is? Like, if someone saw this shit right now, like, if someone were to walk by and see me talking to you, I would probably look like I'm crazy. But then again, not really, because people love their pets. People love their pets, and they talk to them like they're people all the time. They even treat them like people sometimes. So, you know what? Scratch that. This doesn't look that crazy. So, anyway, I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. You're not going to be telling me what to do in your supposed house. Yeah, I'm here to make sure that you guys don't try to open up any portals and shit, since you're still here, obviously, there must be some kind of unfinished business that you must attend to, whatever that may be. I don't know. I don't really care. All I'm here to tell you is that you can't be telling people who own this house they paid money for this shit. They paid money for this shit. Alright? You may have died here and all, but you don't get to tell people to go, stop, and leave. Alright, James? I'm not hearing any of that shit. And attack me with that cat again, and I'm gonna fuck it up pretty bad. Which is gonna make Mark and Lori not too happy with me. But nonetheless, I will fuck you up. Got blessed oil and a bunch of other things that'll hurt ghosts. So don't make me use them, alright? Just chillax and let me do what I'm here to do, which is seek out and make sure that there's no portals and rifts of evil that lead to the void damnation. Just back up, James. He left the cat's body, and I could tell because the cat, looked like all of a sudden it realized that something wasn't right, and then it meowed, scratched itself like it was itchy, and then walked away. Now, I was hoping that this was the last. I was gonna see if Mr. James, telling me what the fuck to do and shit, possessing cat bodies and stuff. So when I noticed in the corner of my eye, half a lady. It was just half of this lady floating into the room where they milk the cows, right? And so I'm looking at this. I'm like, hey, lady,
The name's Miranda.
Miranda, how you doing? Listen, quick question. Just a quick question. You can answer it if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to.
What question dost thou have for me?
I said, what question dost thou have? The question that thou hast for you is, what the fuck happened to the other part of your body? Like, where's your legs and shit? Why is there only half of you? I'm perplexed, confused, mostly. I see a lot of ghosts, and usually when they're missing parts and things like that, it's because somehow they died missing those parts. So did you die missing the whole lower half of your body?
It was back. I was out milking the cow.
Milking the cow, okay. Mm-hmm.
The horse, Jimothy.
You named your horse Jimothy? Why? Did you... Okay, never mind, I don't care. So you're milking the cow, the horse Jimothy.
Yes, came bounding towards me.
Bounding towards you? Was he possessed?
No. Apparently, he seemed to understand that today was the day of his gelding.
Oh, really? You guys were gonna geld him? Why were you gonna geld him? Don't you need stallions so that they can breed other horses and stuff? Why would you geld him? Why would you geld him? And why would he know that you were gonna geld him? Did you tell him that you...
Yes, he was a bad horse. He was a bad horse. We would ride him, he would buck us. Kick us off. Never go the direction in which we said go.
So you told this horse...
Yes, I did. I whispered in his ear, Jimothy, tomorrow you will succumb to our will. We'll geld you.
I can kind of see where this is going already.
He's bounding towards me. I had barely enough time to move out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
He trampled me.
Ooh.
Repeatedly stomped upon my legs with his hindquarters. Just stomping, until my legs were like clay and mud, smashed, bones crushed into dust.
Ooh.
It was at this point that he was about to jump upon my head. I could not move. I was in so much pain. I was surprised that I was still conscious. My husband broke in, shot the horse. Plow. One shot from the musket dropped Jimothy but he fell upon what was left of my legs, crushing them even more. I would die 3 days later. They tried to amputate the mush that was left of my legs, but I bled unstoppably and died. So yes, this is why I float around with half a body and no legs. Whew.
I bet you wish you didn't tell the fucking horse you were gonna geld his ass, don't you? It was then when I heard the sound of a horse. I was like, what the fuck? There's no horses in here. Where'd that sound come from? I look behind me. There's this all black, fucking huge stallion breathing smoke out of his nose. Just like rearing up, like he wants to do something, you know. And I'm like, oh shit, must be Jimothy. Has to be Jimothy the horse. What the fuck? Of course, as with most things in paranormal and shit, it spoke. I'm like, okay, what's going on, Jimothy? You must be Jimothy. Yes, I'm Jimothy, the horse. I can see that you're a horse. You don't have to tell me that you're a horse. Besides, who would name their child Jimothy? That's stupid. That's dumb. Are you trying to say my name is dumb? No, I'm not saying your name is dumb. I'm saying if you were to name a person Jimothy, that would be dumb. Not to name a horse. Fucking, you can name a horse Buck or John or Jip Jop Jubity. Have you ever heard some of these horses' names that run like in the Kentucky Derby? Be like Little Princess Maker or Brick Wall Jumper. They just have dumb ass names. They're just dumb, you know, stupid ass names. And I always wonder to myself, like, when I'm, you know, have the occasion to sometimes peruse said things like Kentucky Derby, which I don't really watch that often, but sometimes I might, just to see the stupid known names of the horses. And they just have these really dumb names. They just have these really dumb names. Trust me, they do. Really dumb names. And I don't understand it. Like, could you imagine, Jimothy? Could you imagine if I named you something like Blue Sky Falls? Right? You're walking around, you know, trotting as you do in the yard, and all of a sudden somebody's like, oh my god, the blue sky is falling. And you're like, Blue Sky Falls? Huh? What? Yeah, me. Come running over there to them, and they're like, no, I'm not speaking to you. I'm talking about the actual sky of blue falling upon our heads. You'd be all confused and shit. So, you know, Jimothy is a good name for a horse. I'm not saying anything else about it. But anyway, Jimothy, you know, I hear that you stomped the shit out of Miranda's legs. Yes, I did. Why did you do that, Jimothy? It's gonna cut off my balls. Yeah, but look what happened to you. Like, could you imagine? You'd be alive still. You just wouldn't have any balls. I understand being a horse and a male. Forget being a horse. Man, period. Like, if somebody came up to me and was like, hey, listen, tomorrow I'm cutting off your balls, I would probably do anything I could to not let that happen. So, I get it, right? I get it. But at the same token, Jimothy, you ended up dead because you stopped the shit. Like, why not just, like, break through the fence and just run off somewhere? They had free grain. Shelter. My girlfriend lived here. What's your girlfriend's name? Don't worry about it. My girlfriend. I'm sorry, Jimothy. So, are there any other, like, animal spirits around that I could meet and stuff? Oh, there's a whole host of us. A whole host of you. A whole host of us. Wow. How many? Like, a whole host, I said. Damn it, don't you know what a host is? Not really. Is that like 5? 6? Yeah, somewhere around there. Let me show you. So I follow this ghost horse Jimothy to the other barn, like the main barn, where, you know, most of the animals were kept and shit. Not where they milked them, but where they kept them. And when I walk in, there's like this whole animal spirit poker game going on, right? It's like a couple of cows, a pig, 2 chickens, a rooster, ducks, a couple of geese, a couple of dogs, sheep. And they're all just hanging around at this big table, playing poker. right? Throwing their cards down, dog's trying to have the poker face, but I can tell that he's got a really good hand because his tail is like fucking smacking the shit out of the little ghost table he's sitting at. And the rest of the fucking people at the table could obviously tell that, he had a great hand, even though he was trying to look all stone-faced like... But his tail gave him away. So, everybody threw their cards in. And of course, he didn't win any money and shit. Well, he won some money. Well, whatever the fuck they played for back then. I don't know what the fuck these ghosts were playing for. They're fucking animals. Shit. Anyway. So, they look over at me and Jimothy as we come in. Jimothy's like, guys, Reese, ghost hunter, demon killing guy. The dog that just had the good hand, poker, comes walking over to me like he's big shit. He's like a St. Bernard sized dog. So he's a pretty big dog. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I don't give two fucks who this guy is. Why is he in our barn, Jimothy? I said, look, dog. Name's Rover. Okay, Rover. Look. Don't get it fucked up, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I fuck ghosts like you up on a regular basis. Now, of course, I don't really fuck ghosts up. That's not my thing. I fuck up demons, but not ghosts. But I didn't want this ghost dog running up on me thinking shit was fucking sweet. You know what I'm saying? Can't have that. That's when the other dog comes running over. He's also the size of this dog that's standing here. Both big, big dogs. His name's Roscoe. I say, hey, Roscoe. Well, I don't say, hey, Roscoe. He says something to me, and then I say, hey, Roscoe, back after I find out from Jimothy his name is Roscoe. So, hey, Roscoe, what the are you running up over here for? Huh? What do you want? Because I got something in my bag that'll fuck you guys up real quick. You don't want no parts of it. So I suggest you, Rover here, back the fuck up out my face. Give me some space. I'm here to come sit down, talk to y'all about how you all ended up here. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of relax. We go over to the table that they're sitting at. I sit down. They deal me in. So now we're all playing poker and we're talking and shit, I already knew how the chickens and the rooster died. There's no question. The chickens were fucking made into a nice, delicious meal at some point in time after their eggs were eaten and shit. The rooster, he must have just been met with the same fate. Chicken fried, or Kentucky fried rooster, KFR. I bet you it's tasty. Probably tastes just like regular chicken. I mean, it is a chicken. It's just a male chicken, so it makes sense that it probably tastes just like chicken. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't really care how they died. Didn't give two fucks about how the geese died. Once again, probably killed for dinner. The pig, on the other hand, I was kind of interested. Even though I figured he was probably killed for the same reason as the chickens were. Bacon, ham, pork chops, pork loin, baby back ribs, St. Louis style ribs. Oh my god, all the delicious things. Ham hocks, pig's feet, pig tail, chitlins, pig ears, snout, brain, cheek. But all these different things is what I'm thinking is why he was killed. But I was surprised. He was actually a pet. He wasn't food. He died shortly after Jimothy was shot dead. He died from a broken heart. Jimothy was one of his really good friends. He was saddened by his sudden demise. He passed away. As for the cows, once again, you would think that it was some simple shit. Like, they died being made into beef. No. Previous owners, before Laurie and Mark, had this really fucked up son. This was after Jimothy's time. This really fucked up son. He used to like to punch the cows for no reason. No reason at all. Like, not tip them or anything like that. Just start wailing on them for no reason. Just like walking through the field. And then he just start like beating on these cows out of nowhere. Just beating on them, right? You know what I'm saying? At least this is what the cows told me. He could have been brushing them or something, and this is their interpretation of it. But in my mind, I'm picturing some kid like walking down, and all of a sudden looking at a cow and just beating it like a side of beef, just pow, 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 pow. Right? Anyway, so they tell me that one day they got tired of this fucking jackass tenderizing them like beef, even though they were beef. Cows are beef. You all know this. So, they got mad. And they came up with a plan. It was a bull who just so happened to be sitting at the table with them as well. They told him, fuck this dumbass kid up. He doesn't come over there punching you because he fucking knows fucking better. Alright? Next time he's out walking around in the goddamn field, you need to run up on him and fuck his ass up for us. Or no more of this cowtail, if you get what I'm saying, bull. Right? So obviously the bull is gonna do what the bull's gonna do. And he fucked this kid up. Trampled him, fucking hit him with his horns, gored him in his ass. The kid's like being lifted into the air by his ass. Fucking horn shoved up his butt. Painful it must be, I'm sure. I'm glad I have absolutely no idea how it feels, because that would be traumatizing. But anyway, he kills the kid, and he takes it one step further. You know what I'm saying? One step further. He takes it by running through the gate, right to the house where they milk the cows. Flings the body down on the ground. Just so happens the father and mother were in that section of the barn milking a cow, and they see their child gored, dead, trampled, smushed, mashed, beaten, bloody, banged up, dead on the ground because of his bull. Now the bull, he's not thinking of what's about to happen to his ass. Of course, they shoot him. Instantly, they shoot him. And they carve him up into a whole bunch of delicious meals. Steaks. Pork. Not pork, because he's not, a pig. He's a bull, which would make him beef. Anyway, they carve him into a whole bunch of pieces. Shank. Loin. Tenderloin. Shoulder chuck. Roast round. Ribeye. New York strip. Oh, God. Filet mignon. Delmonico steaks. They made him into a whole bunch of steaks and stuff, okay? That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. And, basically his spirit was left stuck there. Now, I started to notice a trend. It seems like whenever these animals did some fucked up shit, they died, and then their spirits would be stuck here, because obviously they did some fucked up shit. But I was a little bit confused as to why the chickens, now I'm wondering, why are the chicken spirits here? Because all the things that I've spoken to died and were stuck here because of the fact that they did some fucked up shit, minus the pig, whose name was Boris. Minus the pig. Now, Boris was stuck there because Jimothy was there, and he loved Jimothy. So Jimothy and him, were bonded somehow in the spirit world, and that's why he was there. But then I was like, hey, chickens, rooster, why are you guys here? They didn't speak English, which is unfortunate, because I was kind of interested in what their story was. But one of the geese, his name was Hector. Don't ask me why. It just was. At least that's what he told me. Maybe he adopted that name later on, because I don't know of too many people that name geese and shit. Usually stuff that they're going to eat, they don't name. It's kind of dumb. It's like, what are we having for dinner tonight? Oh, Hector. Huh? What? Killing Hectors now? Eating them? No, Hector, the goose. Oh, Hector. Why'd you name him Hector? Why'd you name him at all? This is weird. I don't want to eat this now because it has a name, and it's not just called meat. Shit. Could you imagine, right? Like, if you went to the grocery store, right? And you bought your packages of beef and meat and chicken wings and shit. And instead of it just saying ground round, 85% lean, whatever percent fucking fat, it actually had the name of the fucking cow that it came from. Or multiple cows. Like Mark John Jim James Jones. And you're like, Mark John Jim James Jones? Who the fuck is Mark John Jim James Jones? Mark John Jim James Jones are the names of the cows that they slaughtered to make this package of ground beef. I don't think... I mean, of course, I'm still going to eat it, but I would be thinking a little bit different about it. You know, kids be like, hey, what's for dinner tonight? We're having Mark John Jim James Jones burgers. Mark John Jim James Jones burgers? Yeah. What happened to hamburgers, Dad? Well, you know, beef has a name, so we're going to call it by its fucking name. Don't ask questions. It's rude not to call these things by their names when you're eating them, okay? Shut up and eat your Mark Jim James Jones burgers. With cheese. Anyway, like I said, yeah, so I thought it was kind of strange that they named their food, unless these were pets. And then I asked the geese, Hector was telling me, he's like, hey, listen, this is what happened, right? You know, chickens. We're getting mad because the humans were taking their eggs. Taking their eggs? Yeah, that's what we do. We take your eggs because they're delicious for, like, breakfast and stuff. We use them in all types of cooking, especially cakes. Could you imagine a cake without eggs? It's terrible. So yeah, we take your eggs. Well, you know, they weren't too happy about it. They weren't too happy about it? No, they weren't too happy about it. So what did they do? They got them stuck here. Well, you know, chickens do. They stopped laying eggs. Why would they do that? That makes them useless. You know, humans don't really want to care for a chicken. Uh-oh. They became chicken dinners, didn't they? No, not even. Not even? Nope, not even. Next time, one of the wives, well, the wife, came in to give the chickens their feed and check for eggs, they pecked their eyes out. Ooh. And then, of course, you know, the farmer came in here and wrung their necks. The roosters, seeing this, went into a frenzy and started attacking the farmer. The farmer wrung his neck as well. Now, because these chickens had attacked them, which chickens don't normally attack people, they thought that they were poisoned with some type of sickness, maybe rabies or some shit like that. So they didn't eat them. They just buried them, and they've been stuck here ever since. So Hector, why are you stuck here? You're a goose. Like, they keep you as a pet too? No, not actually. I got shot over their goddamn property. They were actually hunting. The same thing that happened to this one over here. That's Victor. Hector, Victor. Yep, we were both on our way, going to, you know, south and shit. And out of nowhere, I'm flying around, and all of a sudden I get slapped out the sky by some kind of fucking metal balls. Hit my wing, fucked it all up. I go careening to the ground. Bam! Next thing I know, there's some guys coming out of the trees and shit, holding a big ass gun, grabs me by my neck, breaks it, just like that. Damn. Pretty much the same thing happened to Victor here. You know, we were traveling together. That's terrible. Did they eat you? Yeah, they ate us. They fucking ate us. Some kind of Thanksgiving or some shit. Yeah, it's a holiday, traditional thing in America. You know, we eat turkey, ham, chicken, quail, Gamish corn hens, or Cornish game hens. That's not Gamish corn hens. Gamish corn hens. Cornish game hens. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. Yeah, we do eat you guys. I'm sorry. You know, I don't eat goose. I'm not particularly fond of it. It's a little bit gamey for my liking and too much dark meat. I like some white meat every now and then in my meat and poultry. Unless it's red meat. Only time I like to see white in my red meat is if it's fat, marbling. Oh, so tasty. Well, you know what, guys? I'll finish this hand with you, and, you know, then I'll be on my way. Be on your way. they all said together in unison at the same time, except for Jimothy and Boris. They didn't say anything. I said, yeah, on my way. On your way where? On my way back where I came from, which is home, to do other stuff. I can see there's no evil portals here, so there's no need for me to stick around any longer, except for to finish this hand in poker. Do you know what's on the line if you lose? Nothing. We didn't make any wagers. We were just playing a friendly game of poker. It was at this point I heard the rattling of chains in the corner of the barn. I looked up, and there's a guy in there. Not a ghost guy either. He's a regular guy. I'm like, what kind of shit are Lori and Mark into? They got a guy in here chained up. Why? I walk over to the guy and I ask him, what the fuck are you doing here? What's your name? Name is Joe. Oh, God. I've been here for like 2 years. 2 years? Chained up? Who did this to you? These fucking animals. There's no way in the world these animals fucking chained you in here. Why would they do that? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. And you've been here for 2 years? How are you alive? They feed me. They feed you. Yes, they feed me what they would be fed. Scraps, slop, chicken feed and things. But I have no choice. I have to eat it. They bring me water too from time to time. And I drink water and I sit here chained to this wall. In the corner over there, as you can see, is where I shit and piss. Why don't you scream and yell? There are actually people who live in this house. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I know there are people who live in this house. Their names are Mark and Lori. They are the ones who invited me here. They told me that they needed me to rid their house of ghosts. And they tricked me. I came out to the barn and, saw these animals here and started playing fucking poker with them. And they didn't tell me the wager was that I had to stay here and entertain them. Entertain them how? Like, you're chained to a wall. Oh, God, every now and then I'll have to, do stuff from TV, pretend to be a show if they like a show that I've heard of, or even if I haven't heard of it. They'll tell me what they want me to do, and I have to do it. Doesn't matter what it is, I have to do it. Sometimes the cows want me to milk them. They want you to milk them, yes. But they're ghost cows. What's the fucking point? Because they miss it. They miss it, okay? That's why. And Mark and Lori are the ones that locked you in here, so they know about this whole thing. I just told you that. They tricked me. Shit. I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together. Coming up with 4, right? I realize this is why they were kind of looking at me funny when I just popped up out of nowhere. That's why they didn't invite me, They had to know I was going to find this out. So at that point, I'm thinking to myself, oh shit. They might still fucking be here. They might not have left at all. So, I'm like, listen, animals. Threw down my fucking royal flush. Said, you're not beating this. I won. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Have a nice afterlife. Talk to you all later. As I walk out the door, Rosimul starts swirling around in his jar like he's, about to explode. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh shit, I can sense some nice evil shit going on now. Go back to the house. Hurry up. Something's happening. Like, what's happening? Just go in the house. I'm sure we'll see it when we get there. So I bring him in the house. We go in the house. All of a sudden, I see, this portal in the middle of their living room floor getting ready to open up. And at the table is Mark and Lori. They tricked me, told me that they had left. They didn't leave. Because they were sitting there around this table where this portal is trying to open up. Right? Immediately, as soon as I see this happening, I jump into the living room, into the room that they're at, haul ass, fly across like Superman, and punch Mark right in the face. He falls out of the chair, falls out of his little trance and shit. Lori, it's like, oh, no, I'm like, oh, you lying ass bastards. The portal closes. It's like, you lying ass bastards. You lying ass bastards. You have a guy. Oh, I left him there too. That's kind of fucked up. You have a guy in the goddamn barn. chained up and shit, and you knew that he was in there because you chained him up in there to entertain your ghost animals. What were you guys doing in here trying to summon a portal for? Huh? Trying to do some evil shit? Because, my little demon Rosmul sensed it, figured it out. That's why I'm here seeing you do what you're doing. You're doing what you're doing, and you're not supposed to be doing that. Smacked Mark real quick. Psh! Grabbed Lori by the collar, or her little shirt, sweater thing. Shook her around a little bit. Which would look bad if you seen it, because she's, like I told you, 70 years old and shit. So I'm here shaking a 70-year-old lady by her collar like she's a grown man. And she is grown, but she's 70. So, I'm being a little rough. I realize this. I stopped. Let go of her. Put Rosmu on the table. I said, listen, I'm going to open this jar. Unless I get some fucking answers as to what the fuck it is you people are doing. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? What did this man do to you that you would, look, let's start from the beginning. What's going on? They tell me about this deal they made with this demon named Gerard. Now, the demon Gerard is somehow responsible for why these animals are stuck here on the property. Now, without this entertainment that these animals have, they roam around the property doing all types of shit. Mooning and galloping, animal stuff that animals do. A lot of it has to do with them, kind of attacking the people that live there and shit. Because that's what they do. And obviously Mark and Lori got tired of it. Gerard told them that they entertain the animals with a human. It doesn't have to be sacrificed or anything like that. That they would be fine and the animals would leave them be. Which they do, for the most part. Every now and then, Jimothy will wander about and do horse things. But for the most part, they stay in the barn. What they didn't know is by doing this, they were feeding Gerard the energy of this young man that they had chained up in the barn. Rosmul hops out the jar, because I opened it, starts sniffing around the house. Like, what's going on, Rosmul? He's like, oh shit, I can smell him, he's coming. Like, who's coming? Gerard's coming. Gerard's coming? Yep, he's coming. I haven't seen this guy in like fucking millennium. You know him? I know all the demons. I'm a fucking demon. And shit, I told you that. It doesn't mean that we don't know each other because we're not around each other, but we all know each other. And yeah, I know Gerard. He's a demon like me. He feeds on suffering. That's why he's not usually in the same places that I am, because I and him, we'd be eating shit together, and like, we're not friendly. As you know, I hate my son Rex. Can't stand him. I don't give two shits about that little demon I created. Anyway, yeah, he's on his way. You might want to step back a little bit. So I step back from the table, because that's what, Rosmul told me to do. Rosmul gets back in the jar, I close it. All of a sudden, poof, out from the middle of nowhere, pops this little green demon. He's a little tiny thing. Looks like a leprechaun, except not as, I guess, I won't call leprechauns cute. That's kind of weird. But he's not like a little dwarf. He just looks like a miniature evil thing. You know what I'm saying? Like about the size of a 2-year-old. On the table, he is dancing around. He was doing that when he came through. Now, I don't know why he's dancing. I have no idea. But he's not happy dancing, right? He's dancing like he's really mad. Like he just lost a video game. He's like stomping around. Right? In a little growly voice, he starts talking to me. Who the fuck are you? Huh? Who are you? I'm like, I am the demon hunter Reese. I have your friend Rosalind here in a jar. And your fate will be the same if you don't go back to whence you came. Oh, didn't mean to rhyme there, buddy, and not some bard or anything like that. It just so happened to come out that way. So, look, take me serious, because I am seriously going to hurt you if you don't go back wherever you came from. I'm not trying to kill you, unless I absolutely have to. Oh yeah! You're that son of a bitch!
Fucking Reese! I've heard about you. Yes, I have. I've heard about you. From Satan. He told me if I see you, to tell you that those fucking LED light strips you gave him don't fucking work.
I know they don't work. I don't make deals with Satan. Now, I told you what your options were. The fuck out of here. Go back where you came from. Or we can do battle. You won't win.
Hey, no, listen, Gerard. Is that Rosmo? Yeah, it's Rosmo. It's me, yeah, Gerard, trust me. You don't want no parts of this guy. You don't want no parts of this guy. He will fuck you up. He's got all types of, demon stuff. Not demon stuff, but stuff for fucking us up. How do you think I ended up in this fucking jar? You know, he's been keeping me in this jar for quite some time now. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a long time, Gerard. Listen, trust me when I tell you, this guy, he will definitely fuck your life up. He killed Azazel. You understand what I'm saying? He escaped from Zalami. He also escaped from the other guy, Lionel. Now, trust me, you know that Lionel and Zalami are powerful demons, especially Zalami, and he escaped Zalami. Trust me, Gerard, you don't want no parts of this. Now listen here, I can get big points with fucking Satan if I catch this guy.
What the fuck did he just say?
I have no fucking idea. I haven't spoken that language in a long time. I prefer speaking human languages. They're more fun. You guys have a wide variety of swears and shit from different languages. I love them. So I speak human now. I don't speak demon anymore. So I don't know what the fuck he just said.
You know, I'm looking at this little green thing, and he really looks like he wants to fight. But I don't feel like fighting. So, you know, I pull out my demon shotgun, blessed as it was, and I shoot him, blow him into a whole bunch of pieces. His head remained whole, though. You know. I pick up his little head. I'm looking at it. And I say, you see what happens? Rosmo told you. I told you. You should have just left.
I can still leave. I don't need the whole body. I just one head. Just a head is enough. A head's enough.
And he just vanished out of my hand. Now, this whole time, you know, Lori and Mark are still sitting there. Now they're flabbergasted because they've witnessed my power. They've witnessed it. I tell them, listen, you know what? You're lucky I'm not a douchebag. I'm not going to report you to the police for kidnapping and locking that guy up. All right? I'm not going to report you for doing that. You should let him go immediately. Now, you don't have to worry about this Gerard character anymore. He no longer influences your animal ghosts here. So, I'm going to trust you guys. That you're going to let that guy go. And me and my demon Rosmo will be on our way. And that's what happened. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, right? You're fucked up, Reese. Like, you could have gone and let that guy go. And, you know, made sure that he was okay. He's been living there for 2 years. So, even if they don't let him go, it's not like he's gonna die or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, why would I intrude on things that have nothing to do with me? Besides, they locked him up. You know, let them clean up their own fucking mess. Why should I go cleaning up other people's mess? I just had to deal with the demon. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be cleaning up nobody else's kidnapping bullshit, because then what happens if dude escapes, right? And maybe he asked me for something that I don't want to give him. And because he's mad at me, he decides to say that I locked him up in the barn, right? If I just leave, then, you know, it's not like Mark and Lori are gonna say anything about me being at their fucking house, having the things that they've done what they've done, and admit it to police or whatever else. No, they're not gonna do that. So, no, not getting involved. So yeah, I'm kind of fucked up for leaving them there. But hey, you know what? Fuck it. It's not my problem. I didn't do it. Me and Rosmal were talking on the way back to the house. Like, Rosmal, how many more demons are we gonna run into out here like this? And how many of them are like you? Oh, God, shit, there's tons like me. And how many demons are we gonna run into? Shit, there's an endless supply of demons. Like there are people, shit, there's billions and billions of demons. You'll probably run into one every day for the next rest of your life, however long or short that is. What is that supposed to mean, however long or short that is? Well, I'm just saying, generally, I mean, you could die anyway, driving down the street. If you don't pay attention to the road, you might crash into the back of that truck that's in front of you. Oh, shit! Almost hit this truck. That was in front of me. I'm talking Roswell and shit. Anyway, so, we get back to the house. Everything is everything, There's no more problems. Everything seems normal and plain. I go on about my daily tasks of being a ghost hunting, demon killing, sometimes demon capturing person. I call Jane up. Say, hey Jane, are you busy tomorrow? She said, not that I know of. I said, well listen, we've got some stuff to do tomorrow. Maybe even later today, it depends. Gotta go to the Bradley Playhouse.
Bradley Playhouse?
Yeah, the Bradley Playhouse. Why, have you heard of it?
Yes, I have heard of it.
Well, good. Get your stuff ready. I'll see you. When I see you, I'll call you, obviously, before I come to your house and shit. But, just be ready.
Are we bringing Jim this time?
I guess. Just tell him don't eat any fucking Taco Bell before the goddamn investigation, okay? I hung up the phone, and that was that. I want to thank everybody for joining me for today's stupid, scary story. And if you enjoyed it, well, hit like. If you haven't done so yet, please, by all means, subscribe to the channel. That way you can enjoy stupid, scary stories with some thread of truth weaved into them, or woven, if we want to be using proper English and grammar. If you want to be notified when these stories drop, because I don't always do them every single day, I try to do at least 2 or 3 a week, then hit the notification icon and you'll be notified when I drop a story. Until next time, folks, take care of yourself.